Let's see. Ooh, and that was quick, and we're live. Welcome to Founders Chat Live, your number one place for hot business news and even hotter takes. We've got some amazing topics lined up today. Anthropic raised another $30 billion. Deepfake privacy problems are up 900%. UK electricity charges are about to double for standing charges, which is just crazy. And there's now an AI that buys its own software with your credit card for companies.
So dumb.
So,
but other news, I won my
be an interesting night.
And more important news, I'm in a really good mood because I had a great fight on Saturday, a long 5 rounds, but I got the win, and I only got a tiny little battle scar, a tiny bruise.
Yeah.
I was fighting a guy who was too tough for his own good, but it nearly worked. It nearly broke us.
Was it recorded?
Yeah,
Has anyone recorded the whole thing?
It'll be put on YouTube in the next week and a half. Usually, normally it's uploaded within 2 weeks.
Beautiful. Send the links as always.
It was a tough fight, but I'm still on a high. I've never been more exhausted after a fight though. Having just a short, angry guy just walk you down for 5 rounds when he's getting burst. It's mentally draining. At one point towards the end of the fight, I was like, what else do I have to do? How are you still walking forward? I don't know what to do anymore. I've done everything and you just keep trying to kill us.
I've seen your warm-up video on TikTok, so
it's nice and cool. The full bright. Sure. I've got the Founders Tree logo on the bottom of the shirt. Do you have an Instagram for Founders Tree? Because I'll tag it when I start posting stuff.
Yeah, I just kind of resurrected my 15-year-old Instagram account that had nothing on it, and I'm just using it for business now. So
sweet.
Some of the Founders Chat, some of the shorts from this show, it's gonna go on there as well. I'm not really gonna do like my personal stuff. I don't care.
At the Joe Carson on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at the Joe Carson. Saying it again.
Pretty boy. Right. Do you want to pick the first topic? Because last time I picked all of the topics, so you gotta pick a topic.
In fairness, I was very, very weight drained and I had no energy. I had about hours worth of energy. Okay, Matt, the topics I'm interested in this week probably aren't the most interesting ones to you, but like I know you. Actually, you know what? I'll be nice. We'll do the truck one first. I believe that's number 9, or is it number 7? Let me check.
I think it was
number 7. Okay, so a startup called how do you pronounce that? I have no idea.
Waabi. I think
Waabi have just bagged $1 billion in funding to expand its autonomous trucking technology and move into the robo-taxi space via a partnership with Uber, which is just crazy. So we've obviously been promised this self-driving stuff for a decade, over that maybe. But $1 billion lands on the table alongside Uber, it's probably going to be in the next 12 months we start genuinely seeing food deliveries just dump.
Didn't I just talk about that briefly last time with Elon Musk promising? Yeah, we did talk about it, right? He was promising self-driving cars for ages, and now they started charging people a subscription for the self-driving. But anyway, this one could be interesting. Because they're especially aiming it for that middle mile and last mile logistics. So this is all your kind of local deliveries, right? Your DHL, your DPD. God knows if Royal Mail is gonna get on that. Maybe finally they will start delivering parcels all the time.
This is like massive, really, when you think about it. Because I know a lot of my mates who like went to uni and stuff like that. They do like Amazon Flex on the side, just really good pay. It's like £18 £18.50 an hour. You can just pick up shifts like on your phone in the morning. You can just bag like 3 shifts a week, making another 300 quid light work, like no stress. It's just a really good like side hustle money. But this sort of funding and self-driving trucks is what kills stuff like Amazon Flex, which will just make the UK economy even worse. Because I know so many people who use that and gigs like that.
Yeah. That's sorry. Just mute this.
I did Amazon Flex back in the day, actually, for like a few months. It was the best, worst job I've ever had. Like I remember I did HelloFresh when I was like 19, 18. And that was the worst job I've ever had because it was just 12-hour night shifts as a 19-year-old. Yeah, I was making like 20 quid an hour doing 12-hour night shifts. I felt rich as a teenager, but mate, I don't understand how people can do those 12-hour night shifts for 30 years and retire. It was so physically demanding, and 2, the mental blocks when I've got 8 hours left, I've got 7 hours left. It's so physically and mentally exhausting that it's not worth that money. And it was
there was
of
that
money.
documentary, right? There was that documentary on I think BBC about it when the drivers cannot like take even 5-minute break, and they were pissing in plastic bottles just to maximize the delivery rate.
Mate, look, it was my second shift at HelloFresh, I got promoted because I was the only guy who was like 6 foot tall, big and strong, and could speak English. That was the criteria for me to get promoted in my second shift. And I would just carry these massive like trolleys around and work the line. And if it was 8-hour shifts, it would be manageable. But 12-hour night shifts, oh my god, mate, that taught me that I can't do that because it just physically and mentally broke me. That showed me what hard work is. The bullshit business I've run now is 10 times easier than that. I would much, no matter how much this stresses me out, I don't care. HelloFresh showed me what real hard work was. So did McDonald's, actually. I worked at McDonald's when I was like 15, and that was just disgusting. Like those kitchens, man, I don't know how they get that 5-star rating and whatever their health code is, because they are disgusting.
I'm not sure. So here's another.
Well, we have now ended up with just me in the live show as Alex's dick. Now, I was not expecting this. I don't know what he was going to say about these trucks. I'm just going to keep talking. Would you trust I think this is so bad. Where the hell? Would you trust the truck? Do you know if you ordered Amazon on your phone and then they just dropped off at yours in a truck? Would that feel good? What would stop someone stealing the car? Like, I'm just thinking, if they're delivering in like rough areas, what would stop a random guy opening the door with like a knife and just walking at the car and just stealing the truck? You're back now, but I'm just rambling about what would happen in these like driverless trucks. What would stop someone just stealing the truck? Like, you could surely just
stealing the truck.
Like, you could, like, say they're obviously pulling up to like kick the parcel out. What stops you just grabbing the massive knife, stabbing the tires, and just stripping the truck for parts? What is stopping you?
I don't know. What's stopping you from robbing a truck, right? That's got a person in it.
The actual person, like the person physically in the truck or car or whatever, makes it much harder to steal.
Now, you know what? For like Amazon deliveries, for Amazon deliveries and like little last mile things, I don't think it's that much of a problem. But right, we're talking about freight, so we're talking your big boy trucks. Yeah, that's what they're doing as well. So,
but again, what would stop you just like stabbing the tires in these big boy trucks and then stealing the stock from inside the truck and then just run? Like, I feel like this. I feel like because I just talked.
I guess they're gonna have some sort of like security systems, but then again, like with this being technology, right? Run by a technology, there's already like, yeah, can you just like hack a truck and
I think I've just discovered
and steal it.
because when you left for like 2 minutes, I started talking to myself and rambling, and I came to this conclusion. I was like, what if they're just living in a bad neighborhood and someone just grabs a knife and slashes the tires and then just steal whatever's inside? I think
Yeah,
they've
it's
got $1 billion
interesting.
of funding. They need me because I thought of that problem straight away.
Maybe they've got AI Terminator with a gun on the roof.
That's something like that's what they need though. Like truly.
If shipping becomes entirely automated and cheaper, does Amazon lose its biggest advantage over small e-commerce brands?
Ooh.
That's interesting because if you think about it, like where does a lot of people don't understand? Like Owen said, it's more long haul stuff, but right, Amazon. A lot of people don't understand how Amazon makes money. Amazon doesn't actually sell stuff. I mean, they do some stuff now, but most of their money, yes, they take a small cut from everybody that sells through there, but most of their money comes from the actual storage, the warehousing, and distribution. So the warehousing is still a big thing, and customer service, but like a lot of people use Amazon just because of the distribution network. So if this company just pops up and says, well, we've got 1,000 trucks that are just delivering stuff, automated. Maybe you can even buy one or buy a few of them, right?
How much do you reckon it costs?
If you could just buy a bunch of trucks, and I guess for small brands maybe it doesn't matter that much because it would still be a massive expense. But like there are some big players, right? There are some big players on Amazon as well that use Amazon. And now they've got an opportunity to maybe just go their own way in terms of the distribution.
That's a good
but
thing.
yeah,
I guess that's a good thing. The more competition and the more it benefits small businesses, the better, in my opinion. Because small businesses have so many things going against them right now. So anything that gives them a leg up over a multi-billion-dollar organization, good.
right. I think it's time for another topic.
Matt, which one are you going for? Or do you want me to choose another?
UK. Business electricity standing charges set to double in April. Forecasts predict that electricity standing charges for UK businesses are set to double starting in April 2026. Unlike household energy bills, the commercial energy market lacks a regulatory price cap, leaving small businesses completely exposed to supplier hikes. A standing charge is the fixed daily amount you pay just to be connected to the grid, regardless of how much energy you actually use. So for high street shops, cafes, small manufacturing units, already operating on tight margins, this fixed overhead increase is just another thing that, you know, adds to the blow. And sure, it's not a massive amount, but like just thinking that a lot of people don't know, UK has the highest electricity cost and energy cost in the world right now already. And now they're just twisting the knife even more for like small businesses where, you know, if you're running like a cafe or small office or something, and maybe you're not making that much money, right? Especially in a startup stage, you have to take out loan to loan the property, buy the equipment. You may be taking like a minimum wage salary, and now you just got hit with another, you know, I don't know how that's gonna be. I think probably like another 200 quid that's just automatically going out of your account, whether you use anything or not, just to literally
It's obviously
be able.
it is fucked. It is fucked. Like there's no other nice way to put it. It's fucked.
What are we even doing? Like I'm in Thailand now, and I've been paying like, so in UK before before I left UK last year, my energy bill in January was almost £600. That's for just like heating mostly, right? And a bit of electricity. And here in Thailand, I run aircon like 24/7 because I work most of the day. So I run, and I've got like a larger flat as well. It's not just a room. So I run like one, sometimes two aircons on full blast all day. I run aircon throughout the whole night. I pay like £35 a month. So
it's really bad.
It's absolute daylight robbery, in my opinion. Like doubling the fee before you even flip the switch. Yeah, it's crazy. So if the overheads keep rising, at what point does it make more sense to like just close the shop and maybe just go after online business only?
Mate,
because the prices are already insane for rent.
Yeah, after the October budget last year is killed so many small businesses anyway. This is just another nail in the coffin, to be honest. Like the last October budget.
Owen mentioned like there's gonna be even more closures. Retail places are closing left and right.
That made me like the October budget. That cost me like 2 deals in the UK because they were like, we're just don't know, after these tax changes, we have more money to invest. That made me go, you know what, I'm fully done out the UK. I'm going to the EU 100%. And I've done that now because of, which is ironic because then we left the EU in 2016 or whatever. So, and now I just go and do all my work in there. But I think I work in the energy sector. Maybe this will somehow result in some UK inquiries, I guess. But it is totally fucked. Like, running a business in the UK is so. You just get nothing out of it, if you know what I mean. Because everything gets taxed from you. Your living expenses are ridiculous. The weekly food shop takes the piss. And someone like me who barely spends anything, I'm just watched my margins over the past like year plus just gets worse and worse and worse. Because I struggle to. I guess the point where I don't want to in my prices anymore because I don't want our customers to pay anymore. But it gets to the point where my overheads are getting higher. So if I still want to make a decent profit, I've got to up prices, which means my clients are upping their prices, which means the software that I use are upping their prices. It's just it's bad. It is bad.
Yeah.
But I also don't 100%
That's such a sad topic. I'm just like listening to it. I'm just like, what else? What else is next?
But I don't know what the solution is, to be honest. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like I overthrow the government, I guess, because they've done a fucking awful job.
Overthrow the government. Oh,
anyway, right. That topic got depressing very quick, so I'm going to choose another topic because I still want to be in my good mood.
You pick one, mate. You pick one.
After my 5-round fight of the night. You know, this one's very relevant to me. Stop doing manual follow-ups. AI CRMs are now small business standard, number 16. This is obviously very relevant to me. And everyone's got a CRM, whether it's HubSpot, Zoho,
let me read through that. So the baseline for CRMs, customer relationship management systems, has shifted drastically in early 2026. All of the major tools like Zoho CRM, HubSpot, loads of other ones, and also more of the niche AI platforms have now fully integrated generative AI to automate routine sales tasks. So instead of just logging calls, these systems now predict purchasing trends, draft personalized follow-up emails based on meeting transcripts, and handle first-line customer service autonomously. So for solopreneurs and small teams, failing to use AI CRMs tools means you're actively just wasting hours every week on admin tasks that your competitors have already automated. So I've actually set up someone recently, one of my clients with, we use like one of the new system, and it's actually got quite interesting. I don't remember the name. It's got actually quite interesting stuff on it. So basically, hi Diego. It's basically automatically plugged into all the meetings, right? It takes transcripts of all the meetings, puts them into CRM. You remember having to put notes? Oh my God. I've trained in my previous corporate life. We've trained like thousands of people on CRMs and processes. And one of the biggest problems we always had is people not putting pin notes in from the meetings.
Oh,
or
yeah.
like not giving enough detail. That was huge. And now this is done automated. So like as soon as you finish call, boop, it goes to the CRM. And now a lot of these tools, actually, I haven't tried yet, but they do like follow-ups as well, follow-up emails, drafts, based on the conversation. From all of the AI users, I think this one is actually a good thing.
My CRM, it's not. I'd say this is like 100% AI, right? I'd say the way I do it is like 75% AI. That's just because my industry are working. I don't think you can be 100% AI because it's so relationship based. But if you're selling like a SaaS product or something or even a CRM itself, this will save you fucking hours already. Because like my CRM structure, for example, say I've got a call, say I'm in a sales call, insert company here. I've got an AI note keeper that I already do. I make my own personal notes, like little nuances that AI wouldn't understand, like little body language cues, like what did they make a face, or did they pick up on a certain thing that AI wouldn't pick, yada yada yada. Now then copy the AI notes in, add my own view, put them into a custom GPT. I'm trying to use Claude Cowork, but I still use GPT right now. And then out of that, I use that, take that in Notebook LM where I've got my proposal structure and proposals that closed deals in the past. Put that note into the specific proposal document and then send that off. So that would take like 2 hours manually. Now it takes 10 minutes. But the way 60 in this topic is, that would just do it in instantly, or 60 seconds. So it can save you even more than an hour and 50, which my already advanced system does, if you know what I mean. It's pretty cool. I personally wouldn't go 100% with it unless you are selling something relatively low ticket. If you're selling something mid to high ticket, I do still think having the extra little bit of human nuance.
So here's the actual talking point on it. Does AI generated follow-up email ruin the personal touch, or do clients simply not care as long as they get a decent response?
They do care. But it's why I'm saying like 80% of it can be AI. But for me personally, I do get AI to write my emails, but it only sounds like me because it has fucking thousands of content or emails or proposals that I wrote personally. So the AI knows me basically almost as well as I know myself. And that's why I get such good results and can use it so effectively. But if you're just picking up AI CRM, insert your favorite one, and expecting that to follow up every single meeting you have, close all these deals, never forget anything, I think you will be left disappointed if you don't have a back catalogue of doing it for yourself, if you understand what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, so it wouldn't work like at the start, will be patchy, but I think it gets better with time. And I especially see a big take here for like enterprise at a scale. Like it's just a massive time saver. Like we used to waste, I had to teach so many people, like small businesses scaling, to like minimize your CRM and admin footprint, because what you don't want to do is you don't want your like sales and admin people, your staff, to spend 2 hours a day like tidying up notes and stuff and
There's
doing
nothing worse than
emails.
a bad CRM. There's nothing that stresses me out more than if a client wants me to use their CRM instead of me making one for them. It's not. I honestly, I get so anxious jumping into theirs because it's never. Because if you don't know how to use or build or use a proper CRM, it will be a mess. It'll be,
Yeah,
it
so
makes us physically
this
anxious to
one
film.
is definitely a good thing. I'm curious to see how it adds up in terms of costs, though, because it might or might not be cheap depending on how good it is.
Interesting. Actually, I didn't think of that. I can't imagine, because I think in industries like this, a lot of companies don't care about profit at the start. They just want cash flow. They just want users and cash flow. So I think there'll always be a way to have a cost-effective, cheap CRM or relatively cheap CRM without having to break
like HubSpot already can rack up to like 5,000 a month for like
I know.
small agency. I'm not even talking like a enterprise.
No.
We're talking like a small agency.
And go high level and steam rocket quick, especially if you add some of the like back end softwares. I know that. I have so many of my clients use go high level before I take them to something
because
a bit cheaper.
they used to be like all in one cost, but now they started to adding the AI features. They're charging for that separately, isn't it?
Oh, that's another thing. Like obviously, my website's built on Framer. Framer keep adding like 1,000 upgrade tiers every single month for like these new fancy AI features. I'm like, stop sending me emails. I spent a fortune on this fucking thing a year ago. I'm not funneling even more money into it. Stop trying to upsell every day with a new thing. Chill out. And that's such a common theme in that space right now. Stop trying to take my money every day. Give me a bit of a time to like want an upgrade, for fuck's sake.
So Owen says it ruins the personal touch, but like I've got a hot take here.
Again, it depends. Can I say one more thing? Again, it depends how good you wouldn't know that I didn't personally write all of my emails if you read them, because I put that much, Joe Carson into my random various AI tools that it's almost Joe Carson without being me. Right, what's your hot take? Go on.
Here's my hot take. A lot of salespeople and admin staff and customer service staff are just bad at writing good emails.
Is that a hot take? I agree with it. I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I agree with it.
Because Ryan says like, okay, ruins personal touch. It's not that good. Yeah, but most people actually suck at personal touch as well.
Most people
they write like from like really bland templates. And like they miss stuff, they don't mention like small details, right? Like writing a good email, a good response is a skill, and most people who are hired for these positions do not have that skill. Therefore, in my opinion, do we really lose out that much? I don't think so.
At least from my experience, I don't know if it's the same for you, but in my 9 to 5 job, obviously I was really young working in corporate, but my emails were awful in corporate. They only got better when I was like running like my own business, if you know what I mean. Like I did sales and marketing in my 9 to 5 job, but my emails were still shockingly bad. Like especially if I go back and read like my emails from 2 years ago and I'd relatively just started my business, they're still bad, but they get better just by doing. You don't really. The quality doesn't make that much of a difference in your 9 to 5 when you're doing them. So you don't invest time or energy into improving them. But when you run your business, you do get better with them. So I think that's an interesting one.
We're blasting through these topics today.
Yes, I'm in a good mood and I'm not weight trained, so I can talk for England. Well, that was my last one. That topic was mine. Do you want to pick one or do you want me to go again?
Do you have something in mind?
19, because I've been talking to some mates in PR and this is getting It's getting insane what some of these PR agencies can do. Not even big ones. I'm talking ones with like sub 10 employees and like 4 account managers. It's insane what AI lets you do with online PR.
Media companies are forcing journalists to become creators. A new industry report reveals that 76% of news publishers plan to make their staff behave more like independent creators this year, driven by the fear that traditional journalism is losing out to creator economy. With 70% of publishers worried that independent creators are stealing audience retention, major outlets are shifting to vertical video journalism and personality-driven content. For independent newsletter writers and content creators, this is a massive validation. The legacy media empires are abandoning the institutional faceless reporting style to try and copy what we're actually doing here, for example. Fuck BBC News and everything else. Come to Founders Chat.
Like I've done loads of. Obviously, my business isn't PR, but I've done loads.
If you want email, subscribe to our Substack.
It's like I don't work in PR, but I've done a lot of freelance PR, like just based on referrals, especially in like the industries that I work in, because it's so easy because so much is stuck in the past. So I've got some like PR agency connections in Mate. Some of the it's ever since X made it where you can get paid for like tweets and that sort of stuff. They deliberately can now manipulate media coverage in a certain way to get so many views, which obviously brings out financial benefit that I didn't before. And X is the easiest one to bot as well. You can manipulate being X famous super, super quickly.
So here's a talking point for this. The New York Times trying to act like a 20-year-old TikToker is going to be an interesting thing to watch.
Do you want to know there's 2 main reasons why I think this has happened. One was one I just mentioned about like ever since X made, which was always like the main PR platform. Yeah. Ever since X made it where you could get paid to report it went this way. Another one is so many of these traditional media outlets, think your New York Times, think your BBC, think your CNN, all that sort of stuff. They've all bought into one political party, if you know what I mean. So their coverage for the past decade in the online sphere has been so either left-leaning and right-leaning or whatever agenda they were pushing. They were so that focused. So the trust in these traditional outlets have totally bombed. So these companies, because bear in mind, these guys used to sell like 3 million papers a day in the UK back in the 90s and stuff like that. So they looked at it now like, okay, how do independent creators build so much trust? And it's, they got on camera every single day and physically talk to their audience like they were on FaceTime.
That's actually interesting that you've mentioned that. I've not paid attention too much because I've not been in London for a year now.
I was in London.
Well, you wouldn't know because you're a baby, but like people used to read like papers on the tube every day in London or in the buses. Like they used to just give them away in front of all of the stations, or you could buy them for like peanuts, some of them. But I used to go on a tube or on a bus in London, and everybody had a newspaper. But now everybody's on their phone.
I think this also was it last? No, it wouldn't have been last week. But in the week before, we spoke about this, where I mentioned how the music industry's got a massive problem. Because it might have been last week, because Spotify are losing money and all that. Because other than like Taylor Swift, there's no mainstream music artists anymore. Because people get their news from different sources, and these algorithms give you only what you want. So there's niche famous artists, but there's virtually zero universally famous artists, and I think that's this impacting the news as well, because they can't get one specific message to everyone because everyone doesn't consume media through the newspaper or television. Like, think of, I don't know, Seinfeld. Seinfeld got like 90 million viewers for its last episode in the US. You knew that hundreds of millions of people, 100 million people were going to watch that. Now there's nothing that can guarantee 90 million eyeballs. You know what I mean? That's going to be split up in 10 to 20 or 30 different niche segments. There's nothing that's universally mainstream in the same way that it used to be.
Yeah, it's an interesting shift, isn't it? So here's a question. If all of the major news outlets are pivoting to creator-style content, does that make it harder or easier for independent creators to stand out? What does it mean for us?
Ooh. I'd say easier, you know, because I think if these bigger companies were looking to do stuff like that and have that style, they're more likely going to give like freelance opportunities to creators doing it on a smaller scale. Like, I'm assuming they'll have talent scouts watching some of the smallest podcasts, some of the smallest live shows, yada, 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 looking for the next thing that they can use as the face of their brand almost. Kind of like that record label scrolling YouTube in 2008 and finding Justin Bieber when he had like 19 views. There'll be some people doing that.
And the final question for this is, do you prefer your industry news from traditional publication or from an independent creator?
Ooh. Truth be told, I don't particularly care as long as it's not written in a way that's supposed to be like deliberately provocative or rage bait to get views and attention. Just tell me the news in 3 sentences and I'm perfectly happy. I don't want it stretched out like an eight tweet long thread or a 5-minute long Instagram reel to max out retention before delivering the punchline like Candace Owens. Just tell us the fucking news in the space of 20 seconds and I'm happy.
Yeah, like that's what like ground news, right? Ground news is the creator sort of style news publisher. They've grown massively over the last few years. So I think everybody's just trying to like replicate that success. I mean, plenty of other places do that as well. But anyway, it's interesting to see everybody just going into that creator economy, but will be interesting to see where that goes.
Do you like the creator economy that we've ended up in, or do you prefer how it used to be, or do you think there's just some benefits and some negatives?
I think overall it's mostly positive. Apart from just the main problems that are connected to social media, right? All of the mental health issues and like self-confidence issues, like it's all tied right to that, to just personal health. I think from like a business standpoint, yeah, it's good. But from like a personal standpoint, it's really bad. So I'm the kind of person that always takes an advantage of whatever comes out, right? So for me, it's fine, but I know there are a lot of people that are really struggling because of it, and there's a lot of bad things happening. But that's how it is in life, right? You can't really stop.
I hate what
advancement.
I hate what it's done to like communication personally. Like I was watching like some TV, like it was just over Christmas. I went to visit my nana, and she was watching Seinfeld just on the telly. And people would literally just ring up their mate and be like, "See you Friday at 7 p.m. at X place," and that was it. They wouldn't have the checkup two times before the date to make sure it was going on. They wouldn't have to send the text that would get ghosted for 12 hours because the other person pretended to be busy. They would pick up the phone and meet at some place, and that that life just seems so simple and so nice to me now. Considering how you text someone, your phone calls are basically dead. You text people, you're getting ghosted for hours before you finally get an answer. Nothing's quick anymore. But then again, in
Yep.
business, I do obviously I wasn't around back in the 90s or early 2000s when running a business, but I can imagine that I do believe having the creative economy massively lowers the barrier to entry of running a business in the sense that you don't need to go pay thousands of pounds for an office or a store or a storefront or all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
But
it opens up a whole lot of opportunity, right? For both, I mean, for both business, but for people as well to learn from, right? YouTube. I said to so many people, like, unless you're studying to be like a doctor, a lawyer, or a scientist, what's the point going to uni? Because you can just go to YouTube and learn everything 5 times quicker from home for zero cost.
I think for business it's easier, but it's better. But for personal relationships and maybe personal quality of life, it's had a detrimental effect.
Mental health has massively suffered. And that actually can tie us into one of the topics.
And of course, the terrible attention spans we have now.
Where was we had a topic on this. Where is it, Joe? Help me.
I don't know which topic
there we
you're on
go.
about. Which one?
Number 10. Algorithm-induced low mood is now a documented workplace hazard.
What the fuck?
Recent academic studies have begun categorizing new phenomenon, algorithm-induced low mood state. Research shows that constant exposure to algorithmic feeds, prioritizing engagement, often through outrage or comparison, actively degrades emotional well-being and productivity. For solopreneurs and founders who must use social media algorithms for marketing, this is becoming an occupational hazard. Time spent managing company pages or doing competitor research is linked to persistent low mood and cynicism, meaning you need strict boundaries around your digital consumption to protect your mental health and business focus. So we finally have a scientific term for why 30 minutes on TikTok or LinkedIn makes you want to shut down your business and live in the woods. It's official. It's in science books now. Social media depression is in science books. Where we've gone that far down.
Do you think it's... there's a few different ways you can take this. Do you believe it's the actual platform's fault for this? Or do you believe it's the type of content people have created on these platforms that's at fault for it?
Well, that's the thing, right? The platform doesn't really do anything. It rewards what people watch.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, Owen's made a point. It makes sense. It's like the more you listen to stuff that's negative, the more it's going to affect you. Yeah. But it's not just negativity, right? It's just like, yeah, that's a big part of it. But yeah, there's a lot of comparison. Like LinkedIn is, I mean, every on social media, it's huge now. But right, imagine you're a new person joining LinkedIn, right? And you're trying to either find a job or like do something around the business. What do you see? It's a fucking horrible place.
I felt like crap after doom scrolling, but I've never felt awful after doing comparative research personally.
I think it depends on person. There are, few people like you're a very focused person, right? You can you're quite good with setting boundaries and just like, I need to do this shit. Let me do it, right? You focus, you don't have that many problems with focus, whereas most people struggle with like focusing or on a task. And yeah, imagine you're on LinkedIn, you're trying to find a new job, or thinking about it, and you log in, and suddenly toxic workplace, toxic managers, job market's down, everything shit. Like, it's gonna give you depression, doesn't it?
No, I understand how doom scrolling or just scrolling
Because
in general
that's what
would have that
that's what
effect.
algorithms do, right? It's about the algorithm like showing you that one thing non-stop and just holding your attention. Like, what can you put in a search bar on any social media that will actually make you happy? Unless you're using it for like learning, which is not what most people use social media for. Unless you use it for learning, and then even then, it's like, let's say you're trying to learn something about business, like how to improve your marketing. Instantly, it's gonna be, oh, you're not making this much money yet. You're not making this much money. We're making this much money. It's like, fuck. I just want to learn something, and suddenly I'm getting bombarded video after video after video with all of this comparison stuff. Everybody making millions, working 2 hours a day, posting working videos from Bali. Like, suddenly you get bombarded with that.
For the last bullet point, what hard limits have you set yourself? I've personally got one. It's that every morning I do not let myself look at any like YouTube or any social media for entertainment purposes until at the very earliest lunchtime. So I normally get out around 6:30 to 7:15, around that sort of time. Get up, have a shave, get dressed, get showered, all that. That'll be done about 7:45. Then I'll go for like get some fresh air for 15, 20 minutes. Then normally, I put the kettle on when I before I go for my walk, and then I come back, have a coffee, and then from about 8:15 onwards until at least 1 p.m, 1:30, it's just straight productivity. I don't watch YouTube. I don't doom scroll TikTok. I don't even open those apps. I don't let myself.
Yeah.
But then if I get a lunchtime and I want some lunch, that's when I allow myself to watch YouTube for half an hour while I eat some food. That's my little, because I realize that even like, for example, I would even check my phone like last year in between leaving the shower and putting my contact lenses in. Like, that's like a 1 minute activity. Why am I doom scrolling for 30 seconds in that time? And that just fucks up my focus. So I'd put a hard stop to that this year. And I've been doing that for what now? It's nearly March or 2 months, and I haven't broken it yet. So that's something.
And it's so addictive. Like, I sometimes, like, I try to stay away from scrolling on my phone, to be honest. Nowadays, like, I watch like 2 things on YouTube, and that's mostly it. But somebody, like, sometimes I get sent like a video or something. And you watch that one fucking video, and then another one pops up, and like, oh, because the algorithms know what you like, right? So much, they're so optimized, especially like TikTok, Instagram. It's crazy how good they are. YouTube Shorts, like all short form content, is like, it's just crazy. And you like watch one video, and suddenly you realize you spent 2 fucking hours just watching random shit.
I think training for fights and that is a big reason why I'm not that addicted to doom scrolling Instagram Reels or TikTok personally. I just train during a lot of the time people will scroll. But between like 8:30 at night and 9:30, that's when I allow myself to just like watch YouTube for an hour or watch TV if I want to read a book or something like that. That's when I can, give in to those impulses. Because like I do want to, it's built in my brain from like being conditioned for decades at this point. You do want to scroll because you see stuff that you like.
Yeah, that's the thing. And most people don't get it. It's made that like that for a reason, right?
And I think this is a really interesting point. If you look at how much like social media marketing and all that has evolved, it evolved so much from like 2010 to like 2024. But then when you look at 2024 till now, for the past 2 years, it's been virtually the same. And I think that's because AI tools produce the same what worked in 2023, basically. Because you would give it the input of what's working right now, and because everyone uses it for their pop content, their marketing, social media, yada yada yada, the AI just gives you what was working 2, 3 years ago. So it does feel like we've been seeing the same stuff and we're fatigued because nothing's evolved. Because it can't evolve with the way that organic content's been killed. It's so hard for someone to build a general mainstream audience. You can get big in a niche still, a specific sector, but you can't build like a generic, unniched following.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
I actually got another thing to add to this. It's not exactly on this topic, but I said that I went for a hiking trip last weekend to like a national park locally. And most of us have been like a little bit older. And what we noticed is like, we had some deep discussions on various topics. There were like a couple of other business owners, just all kinds of business and psychology and science. I had some really smart people there, super interesting things. But what we've noticed, like question that was raised, like none of us had phones, like we're looking at phones and stuff. And we've noticed, like, wait a second, like so many people nowadays, when they trying to have a discussion, right, in like any live settings, maybe you sit at a restaurant, in a bar, in a park, or you're out in town, or you're out in a hike, especially like the younger generation, like the moment people don't know something in any like social setting, the first reaction is, oh, let me ask AI, let me Google this, right?
Yeah. It's whenever
Like if
you notice as well. I even do it myself. I notice myself doing this. The second you feel uncomfortable in a situation, what do? You grab for your phone because it's comfortable.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
especially the like fact checking, it's become like a habit now for people. Who are like, oh, I don't know this topic, something about this. I'm gonna ask AI. I'm gonna Google. I'm gonna check YouTube, right? And we
Is that
had a
an issue?
discussion about this. Like, well, it is, because it means like people don't use brain anymore to actually think through, right? You used to like have a discussion about it, form your own opinions, think about it. Now you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna check YouTube. Oh, this is what this guy said on this topic. Now his opinion is my opinion. Because you're no longer like spending the time to actually process the question and the topic and thinking about it. People just automatically go into AI gave me the answer, this is my answer.
I'm trying to think. The only time I ever do that is like if I can't remember when insert boxer fought other boxer. All right then, chill out. I'll just Google when did X boxer fight X boxer. And that's my fact checking. I don't. Why are you shaking? Stop shaking that so weirdly.
This is interesting. Sorry, this is not. I'm not sponsored, but I just found this today. I want to try it. So it's like it's a juice. It's an apple juice, but it's got protein in it.
Okay. Anyway,
That was a random show interruption. Oh, now I can't open it. I'm gonna look like a what? Fuck. Oh. Interesting.
Well, that was a great use of 30 seconds. Anyway, I don't think that's that big of, at least in the people that I speak to, what you said where people like outsource opinions doesn't really happen that much. But me personally, if I say I can't remember the year two boxers fought or what the result was of a certain football match, I'll just Google what happened between these two teams roughly and then just describe the situation. I mean, that's just
I'm
better
talking
than
more
trying
like
to remember
about
something.
open topics, right?
Can I have an example? Just so I can fully understand your point.
Oh, you're putting me under pressure right now. I can't think of anything now that would make my point. But just having discussion about like, sales psychology or something, right? And you came across like a topic of like, oh, what does this mean? Like maybe there's like a term or something. I might need to come back to that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna,
checking for facts.
I'm not gonna. I
for
think
facts is fine. Owen says.
I think you haven't fully explained that point enough to. I think you mean something other than what you've said, if you know what I mean. Because
but like people don't actually, right? It's not about checking for opinions. It's about you checking for the facts, and you form your opinions instantly based on like other like sources from somewhere else rather than thinking through that topic.
Okay, what topic? Let's move on to that topic.
Anyway, that was off topic. We went off topic anyway.
I think you've confused people with that one because I think you meant something that you didn't say, if you know what I mean. So
maybe I didn't explain it in the right way.
Why don't we talk about the one I said earlier? Because I disagreed with something you made. Like you made that post and you said you prefer being honest instead of being nice. But I don't think that's a choice. I believe you can be.
This is not a news topic. This is not a news topic, but
yeah, we've spoke about all the interesting topics.
What do you mean?
Because I saw your post the other day, or maybe a week ago, and I remember I made a note and I was like, that's an interesting thing to say. You said like people don't like me, but I don't like being nice. I prefer to be honest. Like, why is it a choice between honest and nice?
Because most of the time being honest means not being nice. It means being honest, saying truth, and people don't like the truth, right?
I disagree massively because I don't lie to people. I don't bullshit people. But I don't think many people would say I'm not the people say I'm honest, but they'd also say I'm a good person and a nice person. I don't deliberately try and like when I'm being honest with someone, I don't try and deliberately upset them or anything like that. I say it in a way, the best way I can, that they could take on board what I say, if you know what I mean. So
but what if you have to tell them? What if you have to tell them that they're wrong?
You can do that without being a massive dick.
Yeah. But they still not gonna think of you as a nice person. Oh, Joe's so nice. He tell me I'm full of shit.
Because no, you just said it there. Saying someone's full of shit to their face in like a one-on-one situation isn't being a nice person. You might think you're being honest.
No, I'm not saying it's not the language. Like in whatever way you say it, right? People not gonna like you if you keep telling them they're wrong. If you keep like pointing out something they said or something they do, like that's basic psychology, right? You attract more people with honey than anything else.
So you don't believe you can?
That's why you see the mass pandemic of LinkedIn. Everybody just agreeing with everyone, right? Because when you disagree, what happens? People block you.
Only if you disagree, like a dickhead. I disagree quite a lot in like random comment sections, but I'll say I don't agree with X point because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah, Neve's right. Like like Neve will back me. I'm honest to Neve all the time, and she wouldn't say I'm not nice. Like I try to be as nice as I can when doing these situations. So in my opinion, there's no reason to make.
But people are still not gonna like it. It will still be uncomfortable.
But that's not you not being nice. I think the way you phrase it, saying I don't like being nice, I prefer to be honest. I don't think it's a choice. I think you're like sometimes you're like deliberately provocative almost because you like that sort of aspect, if you know what I mean. Like a lot of people would think no one would describe me as a bullshitter or dishonest, but I don't think many people would describe me as a bad person either, or not a nice person or anything
It's
like
not
that.
about being a bad person. It's
I think
yeah.
in the world, especially we live in today, where a lot of people are so negative, it genuinely is. More people remember you if you are genuinely nice than just being deliberately provocative, like a lot of other people are. But that I just thought it would be an interesting topic because I massively disagreed with that post.
Let's pick an actual topic.
I think we've spoke about all the good ones.
No, I think there's been quite a few. Number one is quite strong in particular. Retention is the new reach. LinkedIn and Instagram shift to depth over volume. LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok have all quietly shifted the algorithms in early 2026 to measure depth of engagement rather than raw reach. Platforms now require roughly 70% video completion rate for wider distribution. So that means for when videos actually go viral, what you will describe as going viral, right? For your reach. They require 70% video completion for wider distribution, up from around 50% in 2024. I need to look this up more because it says LinkedIn new depth score actively penalizes posts with external links and rewards users who stay on a post for longer. So for small businesses, this means churning out daily low effort posts is now actively hurting your reach. The retention game, fewer higher quality posts that make people stop scrolling and stay reading. That's tough because, like, on one hand, LinkedIn is rewarding people to stay and read the post, but at the same time, they reward people for spamming comments and not reading the posts.
No, but the algorithm, the algorithm thinks if you comment on the post, you stayed and read it. That's what the algorithm thinks.
Nah, but they measure the actual time spent on it. So if you only spend on it like 10 seconds, you've just dropped a comment, versus like if you spend 2-3 minutes reading it, it might be worth a test, because does that mean now that potentially longer form will actually start getting better results if they start to go for that retention, right? If you write something that takes 5 minutes to read,
Well, I told you about
what's the limit on LinkedIn now for a post?
I don't know. I told you that LinkedIn articles have been performing really well in the industries that I work in, and that is longer form. But that's also mainly
Because
because
if people actually read to the end, they reward that. They reward that retention, right?
There's two ways to do it. There's two ways to do it anyway. Because people, I've talked about this before. Like, I obviously speak to a lot of people and like doing similar work to me. And you can either push so much volume that's unlikely to fail, like 3 times a day, to use AI to push out bullshit, or you can invest in high quality stuff and get the absolute most out of it. There's 2 ways to do it. Now, I personally prefer the second way, but that's just there's nothing wrong with the first way, but I prefer the second.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you look, it's been trending. Even recently, there's been a massive trend on LinkedIn, on X, Substack, right? For like very short form written content where you've got like people literally say like put 8 lines, like something you can read in like 15 seconds. So it will be interesting to see like, is that penalized now?
Oh, and the big thing about LinkedIn articles, from what I've found out, is they're one of the, other than Reddit, they are like the most cited, Reddit and YouTube, they're the most cited resource in like AI search and stuff like that. And obviously a lot of people using like Google AI summary, ChatGPT, all that sort of stuff. LinkedIn articles is one of the most cited sources in that, and it also massively helped with like LinkedIn SEO. So if you Google some of the terms that I've written LinkedIn articles about, they'll come up they'll come up on Google directly or on LinkedIn through the search bar. That's the main benefit of articles on LinkedIn. All I do for LinkedIn articles is repurpose blogs that are already on my website. It's so simple to do. Anyway, I just thought I'd answer that question because it was there. What were you talking about?
No, I'm just saying it will be interesting. They should show stats actually. I know they show for videos. You can see like
they
how
show
many
stats
people
on LinkedIn.
watched
They show
it
stats
total.
on LinkedIn articles. They say like, is it duration? Let's double check. But I know that they show
does it
stats
tell
on
you
the
dwell time?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, have a quick look.
From memory, it does, but I could be wrong. I'll go with my most recent one.
Diego mentioned interesting point. What's the average time a person spends on LinkedIn? A decision maker, for example, I don't think it's even 10 minutes.
It probably is about 10 minutes.
Yeah, for the average person, if we're talking average person, Ryan, obviously business owners, gonna be a lot longer. I don't know, it might be actually longer because you think like what is the most, the biggest audience is job seekers on LinkedIn.
It'll be
job
10
seekers will be spending job
It won't
seekers
be more
will
than
be
10, 15
spending
minutes.
fucking hours on LinkedIn, right? Because they don't have jobs, so they got fuck else to do. So they scrolling job posting, they scrolling the shitty leadership posts and cheat sheets, obviously, because how else will people get so many impressions, right?
Oh, I wish I had checked this. I wish I had checked this article like more sooner. There's been some good profile views who read this article. Like most of because it's got like it's got 1,000 impressions, but it's only got like 100 people who actually read the article. But but like 80% of them are in good demographics. So I imagine people have searched in the search bar on LinkedIn.
Does it tell you anything on retention? Does it give you any stats on?
But 1 second.
How does it say? So you've got like 100 people read the article.
So it says 926 impressions, 682 members, but then it has article performance, just over 100 views. But when you press the question mark, it says people who spent over 15 seconds reading the article.
There you go. So like that's the retention mark, it seems. So unless people spend at least like 15, 20 seconds reading it, and that usually means like press read more, right?
Yeah. So
and spend 50 seconds on it.
So there's 700 people who would have like clicked on the article by the looks of things, but only 100 of them stayed for enough to like get the gist of it, basically.
So that's the interesting thing. If they're using the same metric for LinkedIn posts, and you've got the posts that are like 2 sentences long.
I wonder if they are using the
right?
same.
Nobody knows. Nobody actually got the data, but it will just be interesting if they're aiming for the dwell time to increase rather than just amount of impressions. Because that's what it was earlier, right? It was always like engagement, impressions, and so on. That's how people game the system with pods, right? Because they were just like, oh, a bunch of people seen it quickly, and
it was
a bunch of people commented.
It was always number of engagements in the first 15, 20 minutes or something, or maybe 30 minutes that might dictate whether it got pushed out more.
Yeah, so
And
if they're
and
now
even-
actually changing that to dwell time, which is how much people spend reading it, that one post before scrolling to the next post.
I need to make more articles though, because those stats are pretty good. If I get 100 people spent about 15, well, say like 20% of them just accidentally left their laptop open. Even still, that's still like 80 people, with most of them being in the right industries. That's still pretty good. I'm happy with that. I need to get back on there. I haven't done it in like 2 weeks because I've been fighting.
Yeah, will be interesting.
But
So
I do prefer that change though, because I really do hate the engagement pod bullshit. So good for LinkedIn, I suppose. But I watched one of the shorts from the show last week, and it does make a good point. LinkedIn is such like a choppy, bad platform almost. Consider, if you know what I mean. Like the interface could, for how much money they actually make from sales and having all that, the UI and the just general use of the platform could be so much better. Like, why isn't the LinkedIn inbox just condo? Like, why not? They've got all the money in the world to do it. They could make it so much better for the user.
I need to get Kondo to sponsor the show, by the way. Maybe we'll do that for next month. Right.
I thought Founders Tree
I
sponsored.
am looking at number 9 here.
Okay, let's have a little look. Create a content piracy. Okay, interesting. Describe
A
it.
new cybersecurity report reveals that content piracy cost the creator economy 9.1 billion in 2025, with deepfake related attacks skyrocketing by nearly 900% since 2023. The standard DNCA takedown notices and Google delisting requests are no longer working, as dedicated piracy rings and Telegram leak channels easily circumvent them. For independent creators, newsletter writers, and course sellers, this means that basic copyright protection is failing. Upgrading to advanced multi-stage enforcement services that target host advertising and payment gateways is becoming a mandatory expense. I've never even looked into that. But it's actually crazy if you think about it. Like, people were already, like on YouTube, it's been a massive thing for a few years, right? Where you see like people just copying other people's videos, like especially the larger creators. Like Mr. Beast posts video and suddenly there are like 50 videos with the same name, same thumbnail, same script, like word for word. That as well, but like also just like actually just copying, duplicating the video now with AI. It's so easy to like steal short form content and stuff, and even like other stuff. I had even 2 years ago, I had a guy like blatantly copy, I can remember like a couple of articles that I made into his newsletter. Yeah, on LinkedIn it's massive. People just like copying high performing content, just literally just copy pasting, right? There's nothing to prevent that.
I copy and paste from myself quite a lot. Like if a client has a one really good structure in an article or a post, I just do the exact same thing for every other client. So I copy off myself.
Yeah, but you're talking about the structure, right? I'm talking about actual plagiarism.
Oh, the actual. Oh, okay. Like I've stole hooks before off people, but like the structure of the hooks and everything's fine. But
and deepfakes, especially, right? If you think about it now with AI,
the deepfakes are weird. Like I've got a funny. Like my ex, her new boyfriend, does like YouTube videos where he promotes his deepfake and AI. It's so weird. So weird.
So like with the AI video being so powerful right now, it's so easy to just like copy somebody else's content. You can just like you can probably give it to a VA with a couple of good prompts, and just steal your entire video. That's why I'm doing this show the way we're doing it, because it's impossible to copy.
True. I'm a very unique character. Like, who else do you know wears full bright pink ring kit and gets insulted by middle-aged boxing fans at every single show? No one else but me. They really hate me. I don't understand why.
So yeah, it's an interesting age, right? Because like so much content can get copied so easily. Like you can take somebody's, I can take whatever. Let's talk about Justin Welsh or whatever the fuck course seller. Like I can probably take his course, copy his course, the entire thing, just like put my face on it. What's he gonna do?
Look at the
Sue me. It's not gonna be mentioned anywhere, right?
Look at the LinkedIn epidemic of all the like ghostwriters and stuff having one color background and just saying similar stuff, like without being backed by marketing psychology or anything like that. You know, I don't know who the first one of them was, but a lot of people then just copied it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a hard one because a lot of my, like what I do now is just what other people have done in more exciting industries, but it's revolutionary because the industry I work in has been stuck in the dark for decades.
Yeah.
You know, so but then again, you can argue I took a unique angle on an existing idea. So it's a hard balance to find. I think people who copy graphics, like copy like a YouTube thumbnail or other graphical properties like a pitch deck or something like that, that's when it's 100% in the wrong. But I think there's so much gray area here where people can easily argue inspiration instead of plagiarism.
I think at the small scale, it doesn't matter that much. But if you talk about like larger creator scale, when somebody just steals your entire video or something, that's tough, right? That's what they're talking about. Like the systems are failing. And when you're running like a larger creator business, it can be tough, right? You're essentially losing money. So one of the topic here is, if standard DMCA takedowns are failing, should hosting platforms be held financially responsible for stolen content? Because they're supposed to prevent it, right?
Factually, in theory, yes, but in reality, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know my opinion on this, to be honest. I think there's so much gray area here where people can argue their way out of it. But I do it as a clear line where if you physically take someone's graphical material, then yeah, you're plagiarizing. But it's so like there's so many people, like I know people who took inspiration from me, and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, it's such a fine line. But you like directly copying someone's thumbnail, then yeah, that is plagiarism.
Right. I think it's gonna be the last topic for today, number 20. Maybe we forgot to talk about Anthropic as well. So let's do those two, and then we'll finish.
Okie dokie.
Right. A new trend is emerging where software tools are negotiating and purchasing other software tools. Sapiom, S-A-P-I-O-M, startup recently raised 15 million for a platform that helps AI agents buy their own tech tools, effectively removing humans from the procurement loop entirely. So these guys, we're talking enterprise, right? This is not your small business with 5-10 people. We're talking enterprise clients here. So while entirely enterprise focused for now, the underlying technology points to a near future where your small business AI assistant notices you're running out of cloud storage or need a better email marketing tool, evaluates the market, and securely purchases the subscription for you without you ever clicking a button. So it will at some point come to small businesses. For now, this is big businesses. So we're talking enterprise, maybe, buying extra licenses for Microsoft Teams or whatever AI, Claude, but also new software, right? So this is very interesting. If you let like your enterprise company, you just get AI agent to like decide what CRM you're gonna use, or what other analytics software you're gonna use, or what marketing tool you're gonna use. So one of the talking points here, giving an AI your credit card to automatically buy software subscriptions probably sounds like a fast track to bankruptcy.
That's you. If something bad happens, that's the human's fault. I'm sorry.
But
if you tell AI that I can spend your money and it buys stupid shit, that is on you. It's like giving a credit card to a toddler, for fuck's sake. They're gonna buy the full sweet shop and go on a fucking sugar rush.
But the hot take here is, but is it probably still cheaper than paying a consultant to do it?
In some examples, probably. In other examples, no. Like there will be some like disasters from this where the AI will splash out like $6,000 in the space of a day.
I'm waiting for someone to hack the shit and get like a big company 20,000 licenses. Get a big company to buy 20,000 subscriptions to Pornhub or something.
Like the Ashley Madison. What was it called? Was it Ashley Madison, the data breach? Is that what Ashley? Is that the right name, Ashley Madison? Or am I thinking of something wrong?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Joe, don't get us banned.
If you give AI your credit card and get Ashley Madison, that's your fault. I'm sorry, but it is. Like I don't like putting blame on people if they don't deserve it, but don't give your fucking credit card to AI to spend software. And if you can do that, there's got to be some way you can say, AI, you're not allowed to spend more than, I don't know, 20 quid a day. You're not allowed to do that. It's got to be some way where you can just tell the AI you're not allowed to spend about a certain amount.
It is a massive overhead. Like I remember it, the last company I worked with, like we're talking company with like 10,000 employees, right? Like just managing licenses and subscription and software it's a whole fucking department.
Oh, definitely.
We're talking like, $500,000 a year cost just to have people like buy stuff and manage stuff.
I've been reading, do you know Simon Jordan? I've been reading his book recently. I think that's an interesting read. The guy who like built the pocket phone shop and sold it for like 77 million like 25 years ago. And he was spending like a fortune on this computing system when it was revolutionary. And one day his phone bill went from like 60 grand a month. Then all of a sudden he got a £400,000 phone bill because the computer dev he hired to like computer dev he hired to like connect the phones to the computer. It's like in 1998, so it was like new at the time. Connect the phones to the computers into his 50 shops. Or he didn't like take into account the extra phone bill. He got an extra 350 grand bill on top of his original 60 grand phone bill. And he was like, what the fuck has happened here? I just paid this guy £1 million to make a revolutionary new system and he cost us another 300 grand. This sounds like the 2026 version of what happened to him 30 years ago, to be honest.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, what could happen if it hallucinates?
No, like it's but
It's just both extra 500 cloud licenses because it thought you got some employees, but you didn't have any employees.
it's like what not earlier we were on the whole nice and honest thing. I like being nice to people, but if you give your money to AI and tell it it's allowed to buy software and it goes wrong, that's on you. I'm sorry. Come on, bro.
I'm worried. I'm worried about the like hallucination plus human error or human stupidity.
Oh, it's gonna go
The
so wrong.
security, the
I can
security side of that.
I can think of the LinkedIn lead magnets already. I can think of the lead magnets. Comment X word for the software that'll build your entire GTM system. This is so fucking dumb. No, moving on. This is a bad topic. We should not be able to normalize this fucking stupidity. That was funny. Okay, that was funny, Owen. That was funny. Well done. That was funny.
Let's close my credit card for 24 hours challenge.
That's pretty funny. That's funny. Right, what's the final topic, my man?
Maybe we should try it, Joe. You gotta try it. See if it can set up a GTM funnel for you.
I gave Claude Bob my credit card for 24 hours to build a banging web show. Let's do that. Right, what was the last topic?
There is a side to it. I want to end in a positive note because I'm nice.
This has been a funny show.
I wanna end this topic on a positive note because I'm nice. Because how much time do you currently waste comparing software tools?
I'm a bad person.
There's an advantage to that, right?
I'm a bad person to ask. I make decisions very quickly, even if they're wrong. I live by the motto: it's better to make the wrong decision today than the right one tomorrow. I just do stuff, so I just make my decision very quick.
If the AI has like all your company structure, your systems, and everything, and you can just press a button, and within an hour it does all the research and picks out the best, most efficient systems for you. There could be some advantage to it.
There is probably a way where it can be a good idea, but I think it being successful.
But you still wouldn't give it credit card to make the final purchase.
Like, I'm sure there is a genius way that like maybe 10% of companies will figure out and it'll be great for them. But I think for the majority, or at least like a sizable percentage, it will be a horrible idea. Moving on.
Right, one final topic of the day. And this is a good one. Anthropic secures 30 billion with a B as generative AI costs skyrocket. I've talked about this so many times. Anthropic has just closed a staggering 30 billion Series G funding round, pushing its valuation to $380 billion. This massive injection of capital is aimed squarely at expanding the AI compute infrastructure and advancing the large language model capabilities. While this sounds like a purely big enterprise story, it matters deeply for small businesses relying on AI tools. As foundational model companies secure more funding to build out the data center side. So does this mean that the cost of top-tier AI capabilities will likely stabilize, trickling down into cheaper, more powerful SaaS tools that small teams can use for marketing, customer service, and operations? I'm not sure. So the talking point here is that the AI arms race is costing billions, but small businesses are the real winners. I want to run a counterpoint to that, and we briefly touched upon it last week, is for how long? How long before they start charging crazy amounts for all of this technology? Because so far we're still like very, very early stage. We're still at the market adoption stage, right? And research stage.
I think I made the prediction. It would be one of the first shows we done, like 6 shows ago or something like that. That within like 18 months, there'll be like 2 or 3 market leaders who will like. I compared it to the video game boom of the 80s when Nintendo basically just ate up the entire competition except Sega. So I kind of picture the AI boom being something similar. There'll be like 1 or 2 companies in each subset of AI that just swallow the majority of the market share.
Yeah, that's another talking point here, right? Will independent AI startups survive, or will be all buying just from Google and Microsoft in 2 years? Because like everybody thought it's just they're just supplying the models and credits, but you can see what's happening with Anthropic, with Claude, with
Compare it to if you even
ChatGPT Codex, Google Suite. They're all building out those other tools that now do all of those other things.
compare it to even like a more recent example, like smartphone apps and social media apps. You look at like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the 3 that and YouTube won the original one, but there was loads of other ones. There was like Kick, there was Ask, there was MySpace, there was BBM. There was dozens of apps that came out of the initial boom and explosion almost around 2010. But within a couple of years, a couple of big dogs, by 2015, within 5 years, the big dogs were established. They'd eaten up everyone else and bought them out. There was a good 20 decent-sized social media apps that came out the initial boom, but within 4 or 5 years, there was only about 5 or 6. And AI isn't unique enough compared to like video games, which would the same thing happen, or smartphones, social media apps, or any of that. It'll follow the same trend because it's a similar offer almost.
Yeah, and with like
Microsoft might win out, it might be Google. I don't know who the winner will be, but there will be a winner that will take 50% of the market share.
And that's why you see those huge companies. Like there's been a massive panic on the stock market recently with all the tech startups. They've been saying like with all the new capabilities of like the new models, the actual code, so the actual tech, right, the software side is massively dropping down in value, because what took Microsoft 2 years to develop before, they could probably now do in 2 months. So the actual value of the product is going down so much. That's why they're all moving into hardware, right? You see all of those huge companies, Google, Microsoft, Anthropic now, they're all buying up hardware. They're all building data centers. That's what this raise is for. They're literally just going to take 30 billion and buy 29 billion worth of computer hardware and data centers to just like be ready for the increased usage, but also just like leave small businesses and other companies in the dust as the software becomes less and less valuable. The only thing that will be valuable is that processing power for this, AI processing.
Yeah, it's a very, because say this whole boom you would say started around 2022, 2023, right? The whole AI explosion almost around that sort of time. Probably about mid 2023 onwards, you'd say, give or take. So I would expect by around 2028, there'll be a couple of big players in each subset with like 50% plus market share. I don't know who the winner will be and who will have that market share, but it's getting to the point where now it's unlikely if someone starts today, they can be that whale. It'll most likely be something that's already been created.
And it's absolutely crazy to think, even if you think about like huge players like HubSpot, right? For example, which is absolutely massive. How much is HubSpot worth? HubSpot, like 12 billion, or even like Salesforce, right? Even more, I think. 200, almost 200 billion for Salesforce, right? Now, so just a few years ago, it was them. They owned everything they did, right? Now they're dependent on their, I don't know whatever the hell LLM they use, right? They're dependent on Microsoft. They're dependent on Google, on Amazon to provide all that data center power, which is absolutely crazy to think. Like, you know, these companies have been powerful earlier, but now they're just gonna own everything. Unless we should see a massive shift towards like localized LLMs and AI, where companies start to make their own AI and run it on their own servers.
Interesting.
We could see that. That could be an option. Because
That's
otherwise,
not a bad idea.
fucking Google's gonna own like everything.
Interesting. Well, I think that's a perfect place to leave it. A good topic to think on. The safe bet to who'll win the market share is always Google or Microsoft. That's always a safe bet. But maybe I hope an underdog pulls it out the bag.
Is there anything else here? Let me just see.
No, I think it's been a really good show. It's nice doing the show when I'm not waiting. I can talk and be in a good mood. So it's been a pleasure doing the show as usual. So should we call that a day? Do you want to do the outro?
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Whoever's watching, we actually got few viewers on X. Hi, X.
Yeah.
All you crazy people.
Follow me on X. I use X to say stupid thing when I've got no one to say. I barely use it, but my bio.
Right, there's gonna be a video on my channel. You can post a link on my
yeah, because my bio
on my account under the video.
My bio on X is for when I've got something profoundly stupid to say and no one to listen to it. So that's when I use X. I've got something dumb to say. It's very entertaining.
If you want the summary of all of the topics we discuss every single week, check us out on Substack. That's all gonna go then be summarized tomorrow. fclive.substack.com. Or if you want to join, follow on YouTube, TikTok, or LinkedIn. That's where the show gets streamed every week. Hot business news and even hotter takes. Thank you all so much for joining, and see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.